Donald Trump has recently turned his attention to the BRICS group of nations, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt, and the UAE. BRICS has been exploring ways to reduce reliance on the US dollar in trade, aiming to use local currencies like the Indian rupee, Russian ruble, or Chinese yuan. This process, called de-dollarization, is a key part of the group's agenda, and Trump doesn't support it. On social media, he demanded that BRICS countries commit to not creating a new currency to challenge the dollar or face 100% tariffs on their goods. He warned these nations to expect no access to the U.S. market if they refuse. Trump has often used tariffs as a bargaining tool. For example, he once threatened Canada with tariffs, prompting Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to negotiate with him. His supporters argue this is a negotiation strategy, but BRICS is not Canada. The group represents 40% of the global population, over 37% of global GDP, and 23% of global trade. Its leaders are unlikely to bow to threats, making this approach risky. Furthermore, tariffs don't just hurt exporting nations. They also raise costs for American consumers. For instance, if an Indian car costs $112,000, a 100% tariff would double the price in the U.S., which American buyers would bear. Russia has responded, saying such threats will accelerate the decline of the dollar's dominance. Other BRICS countries, however, aren't entirely aligned on de-dollarization. While Russia and China push aggressively for it, countries like India are focused on promoting their own currencies, not targeting the dollar. India's foreign minister has clarified that their policy does not aim to undermine the dollar, which still accounts for over half of global trade and foreign reserves. Reducing its dominance could take decades, even with full cooperation among BRICS nations, which doesn't currently exist. Instead of addressing the reasons behind de-dollarization, like America's use of the dollar as a tool for economic pressure, Trump's threats may backfire. His aggressive stance could ironically unite more countries against the dollar. For now, the global consensus on moving away from the dollar is weak, but Trump's approach might give it unexpected momentum.